Hey platform, if you've always wanted to take a look behind the scenes at a publishing company, then this one is for you. And if you're interested in working in publishing yourself, make sure to stay tuned until the end. So, what is it like to work in publicity at Penguin Random House UK, which happens to be where we are right now? And what does a book publicist do day to day? They're the ones that shout about the books, that make sure that they're on TV, in newspapers, and all over the internet. But of course, there's much, much more. Today we're going to talk to 3 different people, starting with Harriet and Claire, who both work in publicity. Let's go!
Hi, I'm Claire. I'm a senior press officer in the children's PR department and I work on our YA and teen books.
Hello, I'm Harriet and I'm a publicity manager for teen books here at Penguin Random House UK.
So a lot of people ask me what is the main difference between marketing and publicity. With marketing, they will always have a budget. So they will have a chunk of money that they will use to spend in different ways to get people to read the book. So they will put adverts in magazines and papers. They will pay for social media advertising. But what publicists do is we use our contacts and our relationships with media, influencers, and we use that to get media coverage. So that can be an interview on the TV or on the radio. It can be a review of the book in a magazine or on a show or a blog.
So I really knew I wanted to work in publishing because I love books. So I was lucky enough to come up to Penguin where they did some presentations on all the different divisions within publishing. And publicity was the thing that stuck out for me because it was all about shouting about the book, sharing your passion and meeting the authors and getting to spend time with them.
So if I had to summarise my job in 5 points, I would say it is creating publicity campaigns, making sure they're as creative and strategic as possible for each book, organising lots of different events, anything from bookshop signings to our presence at the Young Adult Literature Convention. Building the relationship with the author is really important, maintaining really good contacts, so going for lots of meetings with journalists, and writing press releases and pitching out to media, so that's emailing, phoning, and trying to get lots of interviews and reviews and features.
There are many skills you need to be a good publicist, and here are some of our top tips. Organisation. A publicist is responsible for booking authors' travel, accommodation, and organising tour schedules. You don't want to be sending an author to an event on a train that gets them in too late.
So I thought we'd just go through your schedule for the evening. So 5:47, I've got the taxi arriving for you, and then 6:15, your book launch begins. How does that sound?
A keen eye for detail. When you're a publicist, you write a lot of press releases, and this is the first thing a journalist or a blogger is going to read before they read the book. So you've got to make sure you pick up on any typos or mistakes.
Also, having a lot of creativity is really, really good. So that can be an eye for design, having photography skills, video filming, editing, and any kind of basic skills in Photoshop or InDesign. You also can be really creative in terms of writing because there's lots of different writing that you have to do. And really it's about telling stories and telling the author's story.
Multitasking. A publicist's job encompasses so much from writing press releases, organising travel, going to events, and talking to journalists. So you've got to be able to juggle a lot of things at once. Okay, so the author's bringing her baby with her and her sister to look after the baby. Okay, no problem. So I have to tell you about the son is also a star. I need to put together the guest list for the launch party in a couple of months' time. Yeah, I need to write the press release for Juniper Lemon's Happiness Index. Yeah, I'll be sending that out to lots of bloggers and vloggers. I'm sure they'll be really excited about that. Oh, hang on, sorry, actually 1 second. Hello? Also, don't get used to sitting at a desk as you are out and about a lot. Keeping calm in a crisis. So things sometimes do go wrong. An author might miss a train, for instance. It is your job to keep a cool head, solve the problem, keep the author calm, and make sure everyone's updated on any change of plans.
So something that I'm not very good at, but you should be, is being good at directions and geography. Because a lot of the time you are trying to find your way around towns and cities that you don't know, usually with an author in tow and maybe a box of books. And it really helps if you have a good sense of direction because it means you're not going to get lost and you're going to get your author there safely.
My publicist desert island item is my phone for Google Maps. As a publicist, you are responsible for getting an author from A to B. Unfortunately, me and actually many other publicists are awful at directions, so Google Maps is my lifesaver.
Working with young adult books, teen books, I work a lot with influencers. So that can be bookstagrammers, YouTubers, bloggers, and it's a really interesting way to get our books out there in a different way. I can find these influencers in loads of different ways. It can be trawling through YouTube, which is not too bad, just kind of watching videos, trawling through Instagram, Twitter, just finding any interesting ways that people are using books and book content. Sometimes it's sending out early proof copies, so early copies before the book is published. It's also sometimes inviting them to events, launch parties or that kind of thing. And then also sometimes we get authors interviewed.
Social media is now a key part of a publicist's role. Being out and about authors, you're constantly taking photos and tweeting them, putting them on Instagram, and you're also looking at social media for feedback from people who have come to events or people who have read the book, and all that is really important. So it's really good if you know about these different platforms, and if you can, try and create a profile on things like Instagram and Twitter so you can make sure you're engaging with the right audience and seeing what other people are saying.
One of my best memories so far of working in publicity has to be working with Emma Thompson on her children's picture book a couple of years ago. And I think one of the strangest memories I have is travelling back on the train with Emma and also a giant stuffed Peter Rabbit.
And that is a snapshot into the life of a publicist here at Penguin Random House UK.
And I can definitely promise you there is never a dull day.
So, now that you know what a publicist does, let's find out how you can become one. So now I'm sitting down with Manisha, who's going to tell us a bit more about a very exciting opportunity.
Hi, I'm Manisha. I work in the recruitment team at Penguin Random House, and this year we're looking for people to join us on the scheme, which is our entry-level program. Entry-level basically means your first step in the door into publishing. So it's kind of a great opportunity for anybody who wants to get more knowledge or an insight into the industry and get some time working with our publicity teams.
So now that you know what the scheme is, obviously we need to know what are the details, how long is it for, and how does it work?
So the scheme is a 13-month program starting in September this year. We've actually done 2 schemes before, so one in 2015 looking for marketeers or marketing people, and one in 2016 looking for editors of the future. And this year we're looking for 4 publicists to join us. Essentially, it's going to be an application process with just 3 questions, not really looking for CVs or traditional cover letters as you might expect for a job application. And we'll also be having video interviews later on in the process and 2 assessment days which are happening this summer. Oh, and another thing about the scheme is that the application questions at the start will be completely anonymous, so we won't get to see sort of who's behind the answers until later on in the process, which is quite exciting actually. It's a little bit different and quite fun for us as well, reading everyone's answers. It is also a paid opportunity as well, which is really important for us. We think that publishing should be open to everybody, no matter sort of where they're coming from.
So why do we have the scheme?
So the reason that we're doing the scheme for another year is because we want to look out for fresh new voices to join our company. We think that publishing and our business should be as diverse and inclusive as possible. It's really important to us that everyone is sort of represented in our business. And that's also the reason why we don't require any previous publishing experience or knowledge as well. So don't worry if you haven't worked in publishing before or had work experience with us or a publishing company before. What we're really looking for is your potential and what you can achieve with us.
So now the most important question, when do the applications open and where do you apply?
Yes, so applications are open now. They opened on Tuesday 21st of March and they'll be closing on 18th of April. So you can apply via our scheme website, which will be in the description.
Alright, that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to apply to the scheme, and if you have any questions, whether it's about the scheme or working in publicity, feel free to leave a comment below and we'll try to answer as many questions as possible. I will put all details and links in the description, so make sure to check that first. If you liked this video and you want us to do more like this, do leave a comment with any suggestions below. That's all for me. See you next week. Bye!